I got to play Donkey Kong Bananza on the Nintendo Switch 2. Are we gonna go bananas for accessibility? Let's find out. Okay, that joke was lame, I'm sorry. I'm Steve Saylor, I'm blind, and if you're wondering how I can be able to play video games and what I can see when I'm playing them, check out the video here or link in the description down below. So thanks to Nintendo Canada, I'm talking about my Switch 2 experience that I got invited to in Toronto. Thanks so much again to Nintendo Canada for inviting me out. So all this week, I've been putting out videos about the Switch 2. If you want to be able to check them out, I actually have a fun little playlist on my channel that actually will include all the Switch 2 videos from this past weekend where I got to check out the hardware and a bunch of other games. And today, I'm talking about Donkey Kong Bananza. Now, I have to admit, Donkey Kong, I always have a soft spot in my heart for, because one of my favorite games growing up was Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo, and then Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest was a well-played game in the Saylor household when we were growing up. So Donkey Kong, and even we played Donkey Kong 3, even though we didn't really like it as much, like Dixie Kong and Baby Kong, I don't know, it was okay. Now, we didn't really get a chance to play any other Donkey Kong games growing up, but again, going back to that nostalgia of Donkey Kong Country, and unfortunately not being able to play Donkey Kong 64 when we were kids, we never got that 3D Donkey Kong experience, at least in my household, or what I was able to play. So I was looking forward to trying out Donkey Kong Bananza and being my first potentially Donkey Kong 64 successor, or at least Donkey Kong 3D game that I really wanted to be able to play. And I know that, Tropical Freeze was on the Switch, but it never really interested me that much. But this one definitely did. Now, when it comes to accessibility of Donkey Kong Country, I have to talk about this first. Normally, I would sort of just talk about my general gameplay sort of thoughts, but I have to talk about the accessibility first, because that was one of the first things I got to take a look at. One of the only games I was able to take a look at the settings menu of the game. Due to the nature of this is a demo build of the game and not representative of the final version of the game, I wasn't able to record the settings menu of the Donkey Kong Bananza, but I did take notes, and I have all the settings menu items that you would want to be able to know. First off, you can actually be able to choose between normal or assist mode when playing. The description for assist mode essentially is you can be able to play with a little extra help. Destinations and recommended routes will be automatically displayed. I will show how that is shown in the game. Now, it wasn't until I re-listened back to my voice notes of going through the settings that I did notice there was a menu item for normal and assist mode in the settings menu. So I'm not sure if that means that there are actually any hidden menu items for assist modes versus normal mode. I think we'll have to wait until the final version of the game in order to be able to see what that might have entailed. But just to let you know that this may not be the final settings menu in the final version of the game. This might have been just for this demo that was played at the Switch 2 experience. So just be prepared, there potentially might be more settings than what I was able to see. You can be able to adjust the horizontal and vertical cameras from normal to inverted. You can change the camera sensitivity on the right stick from very slow, medium, fast, or very fast. You can adjust the motion controls to turn them on or off, and you can even adjust the sensitivity of that motion from slow, medium, or fast. You can be able to turn on or off camera shake with camera shake sensitivity to low, medium, or high. You can turn the rumble on or off, and you can actually, even if you have it on, you can change the rumble strength from soft, normal, and strong. You can also swap out the BA buttons, which are kind of labeled as DK's action buttons, from a punch downward on B and jump on A, or you can switch it out to punch downward on A and jump on B. So what that means is that, if you have trouble basically trying to be able to switch in your head which button is A, which button is B on a Nintendo controller, you could technically in Donkey Kong Bananza be able to swap that out, so that makes it a little bit easier to be able to remember. But the default is, from what I understand, is punch down on B, jump on A. You can also be able to set L3 and R3. You could set You can also be able to set L3 or R3 to reset the camera. But I get the idea, because then you can be able to choose which thumbstick do you want to be able to push down on to be able to reset the camera, whether it's the left thumbstick or the right thumbstick. But I will say that in the game, it doesn't point you where you should go. It just recenters the camera to behind DK's head, just as a heads up. There's also a thing called Odd Rock Shouts. Now, I don't know what that is, and I couldn't be able to tell if there was any in my demo or if it's going to happen later on in the game, but you do have the ability to be able to adjust the subtitles for those shouts. You can turn them off, normal, or story/hints. And that's all the settings menu options I was able to see. Again, there could be more because this is an early build of the game. This is not a full representation of the full game, so there might be more that we have not been able to see. This was probably just what was available in the demo. When it comes to the gameplay itself, it kind of feels a bit like Donkey Kong Odyssey, it kind of using the comparison of Super Mario Odyssey from the original Switch. It kind of has that open zone sort of like feel where you're basically finding secrets, you're finding all these different items, you're looking for bananas, you're looking for gold ingots, you're looking for secret passageways and stuff like that. Although I will say the difference between Mario Odyssey and Donkey Kong is that in order to be able to find secret hints in Odyssey, you have to try to find these areas or unlock areas using items or stuff like that in order to be able to find these secret areas. Whereas Donkey Kong, you kind of can just smash through them. You can literally smash anything, and I mean anything. It kind of feels like you basically just like it almost feels like you could tear open the world and it's smooth like butter. if to use the, I don't know, it's a weird meme, whatever. But yeah, it really, like, you could literally smash through anything. And the thing is, when you do smash through anything, you do come up with stuff, like whether it's just gold ingots or bananas. You can be able to find secret secret caves underneath the ground, like just smashing down onto the ground until you just basically just find a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know how far or deep you can be able to go, but it seemed to kind of like unlimited as far as like where and how you can be able to destroy the world. Like every crevice, every rock face, every cliff, every piece of ground is completely destructible by DK. And I guess just because of his strength, like he could just destroy anything. The demo starts you off underneath the ground in Ingot Isle in a mine, and you're basically just trying to be able to, like, that's your tutorial level that kind of leads you to be able to get up into the main open world. I won't spoil what actually happens in between them, because it seems like that this is basically the beginning of the game. So I won't spoil story stuff. You know what? I didn't actually expect to be able to see any accessibility, and there was stuff that I actually did. Now, granted, I couldn't be able to tell all accessibility because I wasn't able to listen through headphones. It was all just through TV speakers, so there might be some audio cues that I am missing. However, because I played with assist mode, I do see that basically all the destination icons, basically point of interest, on the actual screen itself instead of like a compass or on a map, so that it leads you to where you need to go. But also, and I kind of noticed that, and I couldn't 100% tell if it was just to be able to try to find bananas or just points you in the direction where you need to go. It was kind of hard to be able to tell just because a lot happening on screen. There is sort of like this musical sort of like wave that kind of points you towards your next objective. In the mines, you're being pointed to the kind of the banana that you get, big large banana you get to smash and be able to eat, because of course Donkey Kong loves bananas. So there is this sort of like musical like notation, kind of like what you would see on a composition sheet, like a music sheet. It just kind of leads you towards where you need to go, which I found was actually kind of a neat accessibility feature. And I guess because it's musically enhanced, that there could be some actual musical cues that will lead you in the direction of where you do need to go. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that there was any more navigational assistance other than those two, where you'd be able to see the point of view icons, point of interest icons, or the musical wave. When it comes to the gameplay itself, like I said, pretty much everything is destructible. There are some controls where you do have to be able to hold. I didn't really see if there's any rapidly tap motions other than just being able to punch things, but there was sometimes you had to be able to hold on to be able to pick up a rock, or so you can be able to throw it, and then also be able to hold on to kind of in order to be able to aim to where you want to throw that rock. I did notice actually when you were throwing your rock that there was a little bit of a lock-on sort of like aim assist sort of thing happening in some cases. I couldn't tell if that was all the time, but I did notice there was a bit of, at one point when I had to throw a rock against a wall in order to be able to move forward, I noticed there was a bit of like a magnetic strength towards what the target that I needed to throw to. So I don't know if that happens everywhere in the game or just in those particular areas that you need to be able to move forward for. So yeah, there's something to be able to try and when you do get your hands on the sticks, as it were. Now, there are subtitles in the game, and there is some sort of dialogue. And I say some sort of dialogue because the dialogue is actually like gorilla or monkey speak. It doesn't seem to be any spoken English dialogue, unfortunately. So unfortunately, if you're blind, low vision, you won't be able to hear what is being said. But those who are deaf and hard of hearing, all dialogue is subtitled. And the only additional setting is, like I said, the odd rock subtitles. You can be able to turn those off, on, or just for story/hint. Now, as you could see in the footage, there was no background opacity for the subtitles, and there is no settings that I found in the settings menu to be able to adjust for that. So there potentially might be some subtitles that are hidden in the background environment that may be difficult to read. Now, as far as any other accessibility I was able to find, there was a lot of chaos on screen, and it might be a little bit difficult for maybe some low vision players to be able to play this, or any kind of more going on to the complete blindness end of the spectrum. But then also, I think because there's so much happening on screen sometimes, I think this could be okay for some cognitive players, but maybe not necessarily all. But that was kind of the only thing that kind of stood out to me in the 20 minutes that I got to play. And speaking of the 20 minutes I got to play, that's probably going to be my sort of general thoughts. The general thoughts of the game is that I don't think this was the right 20 minutes to demo the game. I get the reason why. It's to get you introduced to the controls, and it is the tutorial level. But I don't think that this game demoed well. I think that from what I've been hearing from some folks who played at the Switch 2 experiences across the globe, is that this game kind of is, people have been saying, yeah, it's okay, but they kind of need to know more. And I think that for kids, it's great to be able to smash rocks and all that stuff. So that it was a great demo for them. But for adults, I kind of needed to know more about what was actually happening. And so I think that the game is okay. I want to be able to keep playing, but I need to kind of know, there needs to be more substance for me to be able to want to be able to continue playing Donkey Kong Bananza. And this 20-minute demo, unfortunately, just wasn't it for me, because I wanted to play more. And I think that kind of goes to show, yeah, maybe the game is actually better, because it's like I just wanted to play more to be able to see what else the game had to offer. So I think again, I think this just, if you're going to go to a Switch 2 experience to get to play this, just so you know, maybe this might be not the best 20 minutes of the game, but definitely try it out to see if it's something that's playable for you. So Donkey Kong Bananza does not launch with the system on June 5th, but it does come out this July, on July 17th. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully more accessibility we'll be able to see in that one too. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, I'll try to be able to answer as best I can in the comment section down below. And if you want to be able to see more of these videos and be able to see more Nintendo Switch 2 experience videos, make sure to be able to subscribe, because I'm going to have a ton more the rest of the week. I still have Dragon Drive left to go. I still have Cyberpunk and also Metroid Prime 4 that I got to try as well. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, I remain obediently yours. Bye-bye.